Hello, I'm Gary Quinn, and welcome to Ready, Set, Live. Today in studio on Zoom, I have recording artists from GroupLove, Hannah Hooper and Christian Zucconi.
Hey,
Welcome to the show.
thanks for having us.
You know, it's amazing to see the two of you, not only in person, but to really listen to your songs and to know that the message that you are really giving to the world is so powerful. And I think that was the energy why we connected, because group love is really about sharing love, but also peace, hope, faith, really moving. And that's what I think people need to hear right now. And the great thing about both of you is that you're so authentic. I mean, that's the key. And I know, Hannah, you used to be a performance artist, right?
A painter,
A
actually.
painter.
Yeah.
And I was seeing something how you guys met, how you kind of stalked Christian at a concert. How did that happen? Did you hear of him before, or you
I
just someone
had,
said, "Let's go listen to this singer"?
yeah, we had a mutual friend. I was like preparing for my first solo show as a painter, which is a big deal, and sort of like detached from the world while I was doing that. And my studio mate was like, you know what, you really got to get out of your studio. You're losing your mind. Like, let's go breathe air and see people. And he brought me to Christian's show, and it was literally love at first sight. But it was while Christian was performing, there was like this halo of light around him, and I was just so drawn to him. And I'd never honestly really believed in love until I met Christian, and
Oh,
we grabbed a
Wow,
slice after
cool.
the show. And
Christian, I mean, at backstage, did Hannah come back and say, "Hey," or how did you get together?
we hung out front of the club. It was in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and I had never met anyone who made me laugh so much. And she was just so outgoing and like disarming, and I was just having so much fun. And I was like, "Who is this person? Where did she come from?"
No, I think that's so
So nice.
great because when energies are connected, there's a like immediate attraction. And I think most people don't really understand that it's really the vibe, it's really the
yeah,
connection. And that's what's so great about the both of you. And I think that's why I resonated to you guys, because you were so authentic. And I think people are
Amazing.
searching to be authentic. I mean, when you created Group Love, I know you had a group and you went to Greece.
yeah.
Um, but what was the inspiration? You just said, "Let's start a group," or let's write some songs," or because Hannah, you weren't singing, or were you singing?
No, honestly, the way my life has kind of gone, I feel like Christian's as well since we've met is just like trusting um, the direction we're going. Like the more honest path has always taken us to a place of that's more fun and like more creative. And like we went to Greece because we got invited. I got invited for to paint there, and I just met Christian and was like, I got to bring this guy. I fell in love with him. If you don't follow, that truth off the bat, like we hadn't even hooked up yet. We hadn't. It was kind of crazy. I just called him and was like, I got invited to go to Greece for a residency this summer. Will you come with me? And he's just like,
Yeah.
yeah. And
But you know what? You know,
we were two
It's a no-brainer.
strangers. We were literally two strangers sitting on a plane. We'd gotten rid of our apartments in New York. We'd just let go of everything just to like trust that whatever we were feeling. And it's been that way ever since with the band, with
And
whatever.
that's where we met everyone
Yeah,
in the band.
the
Like
whole band was in Greece.
we never met anyone before. We all happened to be in this small little town on the island of Crete,
Yeah.
wow.
and we
But you
just
see what
the
was so
vibe. Yeah, the
important?
vibe was there.
What you said about trust. I think people need to see how you've trusted your power to come together, but you also trusted that you were always going to make it and do what you love doing. And I think
Hmm.
so many performers, they give up or they don't believe enough. And I think that what you're doing is you're constantly there are no limits. No matter what's happening in the world, your songs transcend whatever is needed to hear, to heal, to bring that hope to people, but also to connect. And I think the trust is what's so important here for anybody out there who said, "I wanted to have a career." I mean, look what you guys have done. I mean, I've looked at all your past of everything you've done, the fourth album. I mean, that is pretty amazing. And when I went to your concert, I saw how the fans just adore you. And why? Because you're about love and authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've been,
That's awesome.
thank you. We've been doing this, these Insta lives actually during this time of quarantine, and really connecting with our fans in a new way, and realizing that, not only do they connect with us, but not only do they need us and our music, but we need them. It's really a give and a take. And I think that, there's no difference between people. We all need each other. We're all looking for community and love, and we're all on this path to find our truth, you know what I mean? And to find that happiness. And I think that it keeps moving. So you can't just one moment you might be totally fulfilled and happy, but you realize that grows and moves to a new place as you grow. So Christian and I, this thing that's really special about us is we grow together, like
that's fantastic.
In our career, in our marriage.
Why do you think people aren't happy?
Why do we think?
Yeah, the people just in general, because there's so many people, they think the more I have, the more success I have, that's going to make me happy. Yes, we all want to have a successful career in what we love doing, but I think happiness is deeper than that.
So much deeper. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we can answer. I know that when I'm unhappy, it's because I'm going too quickly. I'm not slowing down. I'm not in the moment. And I always feel like there's so much to do. Like I do feel a sense that there is a limit of time. And when I slow down, I actually am like, oh my God, but there's this abundance of love and creativity around us. And then I feel like that stress and that anxiety of like not having enough time to accomplish things. I suddenly realize if I'm not enjoying it, and if we're not writing truth and like creating things and being in the moment, then there's really no purpose to any of this.
Correct. But that's what keeps you aligned, because I think a lot of people bring in the ego, and I've met other performers that they have a massive ego and there's no heart. And I think when that goes away, it's over in some way.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about what I love about both of you, is that you're always evolving. You're seekers of love, seekers of truth. And I think that's part of your journey, is to find the truth. And that could be your next album, is called Truth, which is all about each person. Even during this quarantine, I think people are finding their truth, or they're afraid and they're freaking out because they don't stay still for a moment.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we talk a lot about the social networking and stuff, and how it's an amazing way to bring people together, but it's also like anything, there should be a limit to it, because it's a distraction as well. And really, like, we've been given this time to sit with ourselves, and there's really so much to reflect on. We've been, like, Christian and I, for 10 years, since the moment we met, we've been going, and it's been awesome. We've been trusting that energy and moving forward. But there's also an element of like stillness, and it can be scary, but it's also like fundamentally the most healing thing, is being able to sit quietly with yourself and accept
stillness.
That you're past, you're present.
Well, it's almost like you're an inner meditation, that you're evolving, but you're also letting the energy come to the surface of what's truth and what you need to write about, or what you need to express through your painting. Have you found that you've been inspired to start? A lot of people have been cooking.
Oh my gosh. I think we've gone through that phase.
I tried it. It doesn't work. I made these horrible muffins, and they were horrible. I don't know what I did wrong. Well, I didn't follow the directions, obviously. Yeah. I tried to give them away. Nobody would take them, not even probably the animals that I threw out, the squirrels. But, I have a new appreciation for people who bake.
Right.
There's a joke in LA that suddenly no one is gluten intolerant anymore. Like, everyone is eating bread. Like, so people, like 2 months ago, everyone's like, "Oh, I'm actually gluten intolerant."
I love it. So the new album, The Healer. what inspired you to, I mean, what was the epiphany when you said this is what the next album or the songs were? Because you probably wrote that, what, a year ago?
We wrote that particular song, Deleter, where the lyric comes from. There's a lyric in that song. It says, "All this time been burning with a fever. It turns out I've always been my healer." And that came early. That we wrote that song in early 2018, I think.
Okay.
And it's funny, that line had just been hanging around, and it wasn't until probably like the most deadline moment where we can come up with the album title. We're like, we have to come up with it. We finally realized this has been here the whole time, and it makes so much sense because of everything we had gone through in the last 2 years. And Hannah could fill you in on that, but there's so many meanings behind that word, and it's so kind of strange that it came out when it did, like at the beginning.
Yeah, because we were originally going to call the album Deleter, which actually for us felt sort of negative and aggressive, and
Right.
wasn't giving the message we wanted. So when that word sort of bubbled up, healer, and it kind of came because, well, almost a year ago, in a month, it will be a year since I had brain surgery. So during the writing of the album, I actually was having some like medical issues that were pretty scary. And Christian, per usual, was being like my rock and just not letting me, we just dove right into writing and art, and really found healing in making music and not focusing on the fear, but focusing on the hope and focusing on the creativity. And honestly, it was my saving grace because I didn't freak out the whole time. And I think that for me personally, that healer makes it just as like my message to people that are going through something. Like, we heal by creating, we heal by loving, we heal by leaning on people for love, but we don't heal by living in the fear. Like, you just don't.
Correct.
And it doesn't mean don't acknowledge it. It just means don't
let it take you over.
take you over. And Christian is like Buddha in that way. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I found out later on that he would like look at me at night and be like, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna cut my wife's head open," and he was freaking out, but he never showed me. And so I never felt the level of fear that I could have spiraled into, had we not been going through it together. And then as a band, creatively, like, everyone was just, I think because I had such a crazy medical thing going on, people were feeling so comfortable about really opening up about anxiety and depression. So I was suddenly feeling like, oh, look, as we should all know anyway, we're not alone in our pain. Everyone is suffering. And by acknowledging that, there's a sense of strength and community. And it was really like healing. It was really healing.
And Gary, you know all about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about really trusting yourself and to be in that kind of mindset of not being fearful in any place you are in your life. And so that's probably what just the trust that Christian had being over your bedside, or there was an energy of healing that he gave you, because it's almost like the power of prayer. There's an energy force that you can heal, and the body heals. So he was your healer. So it's actually a celebration of both of you, this album. But, I remember, Christian, the first time I met you, I didn't know who you were, but you had such a light around you. And that's why you resonated. We used to have breakfast every morning in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And that's special when people have that energy. It's a connection that is deep, but we're on the same page. And that's why I always felt you both, when I met Hannah, it was the same energy. So it was like stereo,
So cool. Yeah.
So what we have to align with is, I really want people out there who may not know about you, that are maybe even in an older demographics, that, your music is about healing, but it's all about inspiration. It's all about fun. It's about happiness. And I think that's what's needed in the world right now. So that's why I'm not worried about your work. I know it's going to transcend more than you guys know it, because I've always sensed there's big things in the future for you. So you just have to always be in preparation and always just stay at the mode of always being authentic and trusting and happy, and never be, like I said, the minute a person gets into ego, it
Yeah,
stops the flow of your lesson in this lifetime,
I
because
know.
that's really a false lesson. It's not about that. So I'd love to see if we can play a little bit of Places from the new album. It really, that song really moved me, because I listened to several of them, and the other one is great too, but this one, in sense, I felt like it was going to be on a soundtrack of a movie of some
That would be
sort.
We feel
that'd be
that.
nice.
We feel that. Yeah.
So
Hopefully it will be.
so
Yeah,
let's have a listen.
cool.
There's a place we're all running from, but we don't know how to get there. Yeah, there's a place we're all running from, but we don't know how to get there. Yeah, we like to tie both hands down. We try to see the sights, we try to hear the sounds, and if we can do it, we're making our hearts bound for infinity. Yeah, I don't know about it. No, I don't think I'm coming home tonight. But I don't know about it. No, I don't think I'll ever make it
And we're
right.
back.
There's a place we're all running from.
That was great. You
Thank
know,
you.
and the lyrics, a place what we're running from is really running from ourselves, I think, and being authentic. And it's almost like fear. People are running away from something when they just need to stand in their truth. And that's why I think it hit me so much, was because during this time, I've gone through some shift and changes of just being quiet and being in silence. So I think everybody benefits in some way from this situation, even though there are people that have lost their lives and there has been a lot of suffering. But I think it's how you look at it. It's all about growth, and not that the suffering is bad, but or good. I think that we just have to have no judgment in our lives now and really live the fullest, and that's what beautiful is. Be you to the fullest. If you
Wow,
break
I
the
love
word
that.
down, but moving forward, I mean, you have a little girl.
Yeah.
So what's that been like, being parents?
It's actually been this beautiful thing because we were going to be away on tour so much, and it's unfortunate we don't get to spend a lot of time with her when we're working. So now all of a sudden we had this beautiful 24-hour, 7 days a week time with her, and she was just like, "Wow, I've never gotten this mom and dad like full time like this before." So it was just a really nice way of all of us like just spending time together, not feeling so rushed or running around, or she's going here with her nanny, or we're, running to the airport, or meeting up for a weekend just at a hotel and we have 2 days off or something. So it was really nice to slow down with her and really just be in the house with her and just get on the same level and the same vibration.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Have you guys had any kind of sort of energy of something new you want to try? Whether it's yoga, running. I know you went out for a walk the other day, Hannah.
Yeah.
I started running during this time, which I haven't run in probably 30 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you look great.
Oh, thanks. I'm working hard at it.
Hannah's actually been, and I've been dabbling in it, but I haven't committed to it fully yet, is the circular breathing and the Wim Hof breathing. And
Do you know about Wim Hof?
No.
He's kind of known as Iceman, but he believes in doing circular breathing and then followed by cold showers, and you work up to eventually doing an ice bath.
Oh, okay.
So it's sort of like a deeper, it's like movement meditation. So rather than sitting still, yeah, you're doing the breathing and then you go right from breathing into a cold shower. I've gotten up to about almost 2.5 minutes.
Interesting.
Can calm your breathing down. When you go into cold water, you're normally like you almost
Yes.
hyperventilate. So I've trained myself now to calm my breathing and find this sort of like deep peace, like on a cellular level, like deep inside my body. And I get out and it's like that feeling when you jump out of the ocean. It's like it carries through your day where you feel this element of you're awake, but you're calm.
Well,
And
that's
it's
very
really,
similar to almost a mudra. The Indian, the breathing, they do the actual, I just recorded a bunch of audios for Italy. that I was the American voice, but we were talking about it's all about the breathing, about breathing from the right and breathing out and then holding the nostril and breathing on the other side, but it expands the lungs.
Wow.
And
I've been
and
told
if
about
you
that breathing for like panic attacks. So
correct. And if
Yeah.
you breathe, because they showed some, if you're breathing like this, try to take a breath now. It's kind of shallow, and then breathe like this. You see how it opens up the lungs? It's
Right,
almost like
right.
this movement doesn't really make you breathe well. It sort of
Right.
holds the air and then it opens, but that's great. It's all about breathing.
It really is.
Do you remember doing that exercise in Costa Rica? They did that. I don't know if you did that, but it was
No.
one of the activities you could do there.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
It was called circular breathing there, but I think the thing Hannah's doing is the same thing, and it's just like it clears out all these blockages that you have within your.
Yeah, it's like energy blocks. Like I can feel them when I'm stressed out. I hold everything here,
Correct.
sort of like in my throat. It's interesting, but it's like it's tight here, and you can feel it sort of like becoming lighter and lighter and releasing.
You feel all this energy like shooting out of your hands. It's like so wild. I couldn't believe it.
And also, it brings up memories that obviously were painful. Like I've had memories that I haven't thought about in years. And while I'm doing the breathing out, it will just kind of come up, and I'm like, oh right, I remember that.
Interesting.
And then you let it go.
Yeah.
And it's weird how your body, your muscles, you hold on to these things.
Well, it's almost like when you're breathing, because in the forgiveness exercise that I do, when a person starts to forgive something, they open this cellular level, and through the breathing, because I make you breathe, it's like a detox. All of a sudden, all the old emotional, let's say, stuff from years ago starts to leave. And when that happens, you start to think of it, it's like downloading an app and uploading a new app that does better and more things on that app.
Yeah.
So anything that you might feel, and think of it, if it's a person, an event, or something that you felt still has energy on, like an anger, a betrayal, a stress. It could have been your teacher when you were in 5th grade, and they said, "Oh, you're too stupid. You're never going to amount to anything." That went inside your subconscious, and it went in there to like grow like a seed. So as you start to forgive, it leaves, and as you're breathing, it starts to leave even more out of your soul level. So what you're doing is actually a detox also.
That's amazing.
So this
It
is
feels
cool. And you might find some other things to write about or inspire you.
But you should hear the songs we're writing. They're pretty wild. They're wild.
Really?
Yeah. But I mean, I feel really grateful for this time to, and despite all the crazy stuff that's happening outside of our home, I feel grateful for having this time to heal, to continue healing. And
Are
to, like,
you
take
are you
that time.
painting more? I love the picture you did, that self-portrait of you, and then the one of the water, the beach with the people.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'm doing some cool drawings of like us during quarantine, and we're gonna put out like a lyrics book during this time with all the drawings and then lyrics from the album.
Nice. What's important to your fans that you want them to really know? Because I know a lot of artists, I think more than ever now, they have to really connect with fans, because if you don't have any fans, you don't have any really people who really want to buy your music or come to the concerts or love what you do. And I think what's always great is when artists sign autographs for their clients, or they're not their clients, but their audience. I think it's amazing. One time I saw, I believe it was Tom Cruise, he spent an hour signing. He could have gone home. He signed everybody's autograph at this event. He wouldn't let anybody go home without a picture and autograph.
I think some people realize, like we do, that we wouldn't be here without them, and so there's an element of like kind of like the first time I saw Christian, I felt that vibration. I responded to him singing. I think that I want our fans to know that they're responding to our music because we have that same vibration. There's something in us that they relate to. So if we're living on this frequency, that means they're drawn to that same frequency. They're meant to live whether they already are, or they're just, you know, we're all meant to live on that together. And I think we feel that it shows. We all feel this oneness. And so that's really the ultimate goal, is for people to go to shows, and regardless of what their situation is, they are artists as well. They are meant to live and express themselves and be honest and want more and want real love and want to be creative and whatever it is. Like, that's what we hope to ignite.
Hannah, what's your true, let's say, dream that you'd like to really accomplish in the next couple of years? What's that dream? What's it look like?
I mean, I think it just looks like happiness. It really does. So my ultimate goal is to constantly continue to grow into a state of happiness that I can spread. Like, I really want to spread it to people. I find this, like, ultimately people are looking for happiness in all these temporary places. And if there's a way that we can, as a community, find how to, like, obtain that for longer periods together, you know, and in a state where we're happy alone, and then we're happy together, and we're leaning on people, and there's just a sense of sort of community is what I'm hoping to build.
Excellent. Christian, how about for you?
I definitely echo what Hannah said. I think just there's personal things I want to be able to overcome to just be a better person, a better husband, a better father, a better bandmate, you know, a better songwriter. It's just like what Hannah's saying, I need to be more still and be by myself more, and just kind of like explore the depths of my brain and body, because I'm just always running around so much, and I'm always so busy. It's easy to lose sight of kind of the things that are important, but just like the things you're supposed to be doing, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
just to, like, really use my time wisely and I don't know.
I think also when things get back to some normalcy, we can't lose track of being able to take 10 minutes or 15 minutes to have a sacred little space for ourselves.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because I think that helps to revive you, refresh you, but refocus you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, we need some refocusing. Like, there's things we want to do. Like, do we want to stay in Los Angeles? Like, it's always this question Hannah and I have. Like, we're always trying to, like, move somewhere else and not maybe be, you know, happy where we are or something like that. And it's easy to, I don't know.
I know. Just during this conversation, when Christian was saying that, I was like, we work on all these internal, like, deeper questions, and then there's these, like, normal things, like, where should we live, and, like, what should we wear today, and those things were like, why is this so difficult? Then we're like striving for this, like, you know, like, true happiness, and, like,
well, I think the key is to stay in the moment. Where you are right now is true happiness.
Yeah.
And I think if you don't look outside yourself for it, it will come to you, or the right synchronicity will be brought to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the message, is to just be. To be here now, to be one, to be happy, and to be truthful, and to be authentic.
Yes.
That's what GroupLove is all about. It's about love rocks the world worldwide. And that's my vibe for you guys. I love you guys. I can't wait. I can't wait till we have our it's my treat this time for our lunch, our intention lunch, once we can get back to normal. But thank you so much for coming today. Hannah, if people would like to go purchase some of your art, it's hannahhooper.com.
Yeah.
And to download, we can go to grouplovemusic.com, or you can find the singles or the album on Spotify or all places where you can buy music and download. I wish you the best of success with this new album. I know it will just keep rocking. And I haven't forgotten about Italy and Japan for you, because I see you there. And however this is supposed to become some normalcy, I think the concerts will come back in a different way, or that it will come back. I think let's just put that intention that it's never over until it's over.
I think people need touch. So I think
exactly.
They'll inevitably come back.
Thank you so much, guys. I love you guys, and we'll see you real soon. Thank you for taking the time and sharing this time with me, and we'll see you very soon. Until next time, this is Gary Quinn. Stay happy, stay confident and be true.